Hi guys, you're with carbuyer.com.sg.
Right, so Ju-Len, when you think of a Lexus, what do you think about?
When I think of Lexus, I think about big, plush, comfortable, premium limousines, sedans. You know, the kind of car that may go with the gray hairs on my head. You know, the gray hairs that you give me every day.
Yeah, there are more than a few of them. But that just shows how outdated your mode of thinking is. Because behind us is a new kind of Lexus, a kind of car that they've never built before, and that's the UX small SUV.
Lexus UX.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I kind of like what I see. Maybe we can have a closer look. So, first of all, it's a little bit smaller than I thought a Lexus SUV would be.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the quintessential Lexus SUV of the past would have been the RX, which is quite a large car.
Right.
And one step below that is the NX.
Okay.
You know, it's about an X3 kind of size.
Right.
And below that is the UX.
Ah, okay. So RX at the top here,
Yep.
and then NX, and then UX. So I'm
Right.
thinking sort of a rival to the BMW X1, Mercedes GLA, that kind of thing.
Audi Q2 and Q3. So there's lots of competition in this segment. It's a very hot segment. It's been growing very fast in the past few years.
Okay. Straight away though, you can kind of see it is a Lexus. You've got that big spindle grille.
Exactly, can't miss that. Yeah.
Then you've got the headlights with the L-shaped elements.
Exactly. And, you know, there's some concessions to fashion here. They got your contrast colored fenders, very trendy sort of thing. At the back, it's got the pointy tail lights, sorry. And it's almost like a coupe if you look at it from the back. It's not as tall as other SUVs. And I think it's because it's the kind of car that young people would buy nowadays instead of a coupe or a hatchback.
Right. Okay. Well, okay. It kind of looks the part of a Lexus.
Yeah.
I think the more important question though is, does it feel like a Lexus?
That's true. I think to answer that question, we have to look inside.
Okay.
So, Okay, Lexus UX. What do you think so far?
Actually, okay, first impressions, it actually does look like a Lexus.
Right.
You know, all the controls are very familiar. You've got the Lexus remote touch interface here. And look at the screen. How big is this bad
That's
boy?
a 10.3-inch screen,
Okay, let me turn the
It's got this
dials
really
on.
nice trim as well.
Right, okay. Yeah,
It's also made by Craftsman.
really?
Takumi, yeah.
Okay, that's a Lexus hallmark,
Yeah,
right?
Lexus hallmark.
Takumi, so some ancient craftsman put this together.
Smells like Lexus too.
Okay, and yeah, I mean, I think it's all very familiar. If you know what Lexuses are about, I think you could jump into this car and use it straight away.
Exactly, yeah. But I mean, keep in mind that it's supposed to be a new gen for the Lexus, so this is the latest, what do you call it, iteration of a Lexus cabin.
Okay.
You've got your mode dials right there.
Ah, okay, so this knob here that goes from sport to normal to eco.
Yeah, kind of like you, except you got no eco. And there's also a wireless charging for your smart device down there. Very important for millennials, so no FOMO.
No FOMO, okay.
FOMO, lomo,
So this is a car you mentioned for like younger people, families,
no families.
millennials. But is it priced that way? I mean, this is a Lexus.
Actually, I think it's priced quite well. I mean, as of today, the car starts from 152,800, which is pretty good for a Lexus of this caliber.
Okay, but how many versions of the car are there?
So we're in the UX 200. That has a 2-liter 170 horsepower engine.
Okay.
There's also a UX 250.
Right.
It's a petrol-electric hybrid, same engine but with a motor and a battery.
Ah, okay. And let me guess. There's 2 versions of each one.
Yeah, exactly. So executive luxury.
Right. Okay.
10 grand difference between the two.
Okay.
And then you get 10 grand more if you want to get the hybrid.
Oh, okay. So you've driven both versions, right?
Yeah, I have.
And how do they compare?
So the hybrid is obviously smoother because you're using more of the electric motor. It's perfect for town work. Also for millennials, more efficient, save the air for more that kind of thing.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? I think my first impressions of the car are that you know, if let's say your dad drove a Lexus, he could jump into this UX and kind of figure everything out straight away.
Exactly.
But on the flip side, if this were your first Lexus, it will give you a good idea of what to expect from the brand.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so I think the only thing I want to find out now is how this thing drives for myself.
Yeah, and if you guys want to find out how the UX drives, UX 200 and UX 250H, we've driven both on carbuyer.com.sg. Just point your browser at the site, look for UX Lexus.
Yeah, that's if you want to read his review. I'm going to get my own review.
Of course, you read my review. My review is the best in the world for millennials.